All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Ravens flock. What's going on, everybody? Hope you guys are enjoying your day. Guys, the wait is over. NFL football is finally back. Training camp kicks off this week with the Ravens officially taking the field on Wednesday. So this is gonna be fun. There's a lot of excitement surrounding Baltimore with all the narratives, specifically the narrative about the offense. There's a lot of hope, a lot of anticipation, a lot of excitement that's surrounding the Ravens offense. With all these new weapons, we cannot wait to see. You look at the receiving core. Odell Beckham Jr., Zay Flowers, Rashad Bateman, Nelson Aguilar, Devin Duvernay. That's going to be your starting 5 receivers, so that unit has to come up big this year. This is easily the best receiving core Lamar Jackson's had in his career so far. We've got a brand new face as our offensive coordinator in Todd Monken, who's implementing his own offensive system. So it's going to be an entirely new system, an entirely new scheme than we've ever seen under the Lamar Jackson era. There's so much excitement. With this guy here, the hope is that the passing game can be taken to another level and we can see this offense get back to greatness. Get back to putting points on the board, to being effective, to destroying teams. That is the hope. And I cannot wait to see this go down. Man, when those clips come out of Lamar throwing the ball to OBJ or Rashad Bateman or Zay Flowers, it is going to be exciting. And that is what we are living for. Oh my God, I cannot wait to see those highlights going on. Training camp kicking off is going to be great. We know there's a lot of narratives happening with the defense. You know, David Ojabo and Odafe Owe. Ojabo's been doing great so far. He's been killing it. Nothing but praise from what we heard back in May during the OTAs and minicamp. So we know he's been crushing it. But you want to hear more about Odafe Owe? You know the defense as a whole, they're looking to have a great season. They want to be one of the best defenses in football, and they were looking like that towards the end of the season. So now it's about getting started as one of the best defenses, getting off to a fast start, being effective, and remaining consistent. That's their focus. So there's a lot of narratives going around the Ravens training camp this year because there's a lot of hope and excitement about what this team could be able to do this season if they're able to stay healthy. But of course, the main focus of excitement has to deal with the offense, has to deal with Todd Monken's system, has to deal with these receivers and what Lamar Jackson's going to be able to do. With these keys given to him, we could see this offense unlocked to a whole new level, and we could see Lamar Jackson play the best football of his career. Maybe football that even surpasses his 2019 MVP season. So we don't know. That's how much excitement is in the room right now. So I can't wait for it to get started. It's going to be fun. It's going to be great. However, I do want to say this. Ravens flock, I know the excitement's huge. I know there's a lot of hope and optimism as to what this offense will be capable of. And I know a lot of us want to see this offense just go out there and destroy teams the way they were doing during the 2019 season. We want to get back to that point. I get it. But guys, we're going to have to be patient. Todd Monken is bringing in a whole new offensive scheme that's going to open up the passing game. That puts a lot more responsibility on Lamar Jackson. Finally, something he's wanted. He's been begging them to give him the keys to the offense for years. So finally, he gets that. But more so, that's going to put a lot more responsibility on the receiving core to be prepared to handle these situations and to go out there and be effective. It's going to put them in the best position, but they have to be prepared for it. It's a brand new offensive system. It's going to take time. Why am I saying this? Well, a lot of people expect the Ravens, if they're able to, have everyone here together, go through training camp and go through the system. Everyone expects them to immediately click and things just get going right off the bat, speeding, effective, straight up from week 1. I want to say that could very well happen. And me personally as a Ravens fan, I hope that we start off the season just killing it, like straight off. We just go out there and we start blowing out teams, dropping 30 plus points a game, just being effective, all these highlight plays. I truly hope that happens. And part of me believes that will happen because I know the work that they're going to put in. However, whenever you're installing a new offensive system, you got to understand that it takes time. Practice and performing in the game are two different things. You practice this to prepare yourself for those games. But it doesn't mean that when you get to those games, you're always going to be effective right off the bat, especially when it comes to a new system. I want to say this because I don't want people to start moaning and groaning and immediately complaining if this offense doesn't take off immediately. It may take some time. I don't believe that will be the case personally, but the possibility of them starting off slow early on in the season offensively could very well happen. This is a brand new system that they're running. Not to mention, when they were implementing this system early on through the individual workouts and mini camp, we have to be able to note that Odell did not really participate in much of those activities. Rashad Bateman didn't participate at all due to his foot situation, which I believe he was getting treatment at that time for a foot injury. And then Zay, he participated early on, but then he had a little soft tissue injury, little small issue there, and then he was kind of out. So these guys haven't really played much in this system. The only one that really has gotten to get a good view of it and was thriving early on that we heard about was Nelson Aguilar. So we'll see if he can bring that same level of intensity to training camp. But those other three guys, the three guys we're looking to be the most effective group, they haven't had a lot of practice time with the system. Thankfully, all of them are healthy and have reported to training camp, so they are ready to go. Took Rashad Bateman a little while, but he did report. He is in Baltimore, and he will be here for the start of training camp. So all our receivers are here. They're ready to roll. They're ready to go. However, like I said, it's a new system. It might take them a little time, so there will be some growing pains. That's the fun part of training camp. You expect it to be growing pains. I love when I see recaps and reports of the offense having some struggles, because there has to be struggles. You can't expect them to go out there and crush this defense. If they're going out there and crushing that defense every single game, that would be a positive and a negative. It'd be a positive because we'll be like, damn, our offense is that good. We're about to kill teams. But it'll be a negative because it's like, our defense is getting crushed every single game. Every single practice. How are we going to expect them to do well in the games? And I know practice is different from the games, but if you're getting beat every practice, how much hope can we have in the defense? I like the balance. So I expect there to be days where the defense beats the offense. I expect there to be days where the offense beats the defense. I expect there to be some growing pains because these guys are coming into this new system and it's going to take them time to adjust. All I'm saying, Ravens flock, is that we need to be patient here. I believe they will start off the season hot and hopefully they'll be consistent through. But it's possible that they could start off the season slow. That did happen in 2019, because we like to bring up 2019 a lot, but 2019, they didn't start off the fastest. Of course, you have that crazy Dolphins game. Lamar Jackson throws 5 touchdowns. We put up 59 points. It was crazy. But after that, if you look at weeks 2 through 6, you'll notice that offensively, we weren't exactly the best. Yeah, the final score, I guess, helps out. But when you look at how we played offensively, there was a lot of mistakes. There was a lot of moments where we just couldn't move the football. It was not great. Week 2 against the Cardinals, it was all right. Obviously, the offense was not producing the same amount of points as they did in week 1. That was crazy. But they were still moving the ball effectively well. And there was some great passing plays from Lamar Jackson. Obviously, you guys remember the pass to Hollywood Brown on 3rd and 11 to seal the game. That was one of the greatest throws he had that season. It was amazing. But there was not a lot of offensive scoring there. And then we remember what happened in week 3 in Kansas City. That was not a great look offensively. A lot of crazy plays had to happen. The 4th down play to Seth Roberts, the 3rd and 18 to Willie Snead, those were crazy plays. We really did struggle in Kansas City to put points up. We found a way to make a comeback, but that was not a good game from us offensively or defensively because they were getting cooked. Then you go to week 4 against the Browns, and again, defensively, we're getting cooked, especially on the ground. Offensively, we're not putting up enough points. We're not able to keep up with the Browns' offense. And at the end of the day, we get blown out at home. So we started the season 2-2. You look at week 5 against the Steelers, we were barely able to squeak out a win in overtime. Lamar Jackson threw 3 interceptions, though again, we know 2 of those weren't interceptions because one should have been a pass interference call because they were clearly holding Mark Andrews, and the other was an interception that wasn't was it? No, it wasn't because it dropped. It touched the ground. We saw it hit the floor. And they gave the interception to Devin Bush, which it is what it is. Anyway, it's recorded. Lamar Jackson had 3 interceptions. It was a terrible game by him. And if Marlon Humphrey does not punch that ball out from Juju in overtime, we don't win that game possibly. So you saw we struggled early on offensively. It really wasn't until week 7 or week 9 You could choose either the game against the Seahawks or the game against the Patriots. One of those games is where we started getting things going. And from there on, we just killed it the rest of the season, putting up high offensive performances. So, what I'm trying to say is, a lot of people are trying to look at this offense and say it could be 2019 or it could be even better than 2019. But you got to understand, even 2019, it took some time for things to get going. It took some time for these guys to gel with Lamar Jackson. Let's take our time, be patient, and give this offense an opportunity to grow. If they don't come out and immediately take off week 1 against the Texans, let's not all of a sudden worry and say, man, did we make a mistake? If they're struggling throughout the first 5 games of the season to be a great offense, let's not start panicking and saying, oh God, Todd Monken's system's not working. Let's not start losing our minds. Now, we'll still be critical of it, but let's not go overboard and say, oh, we're in serious trouble. It takes time to implement a new system. It takes time for those players to be able to be effective in that system consistently. And it takes even more time to have that happen during game time as opposed to them doing it on the practice field. So let's give Todd Monken and this offense a chance to grow and develop. Let's give these receivers an opportunity to learn the system, learn the scheme, and slowly work towards being productive, both on the practice field and during game time. Hopefully, we don't have to worry about that, and they just start taking off and going off right off the bat from week 1, and they just stay like that. But the possibility of that being there is very likely. So we need to be patient and allow this offense to grow into what it needs to be. Early on in the season, we don't need to be overreacting. It's a long season for a reason. There's 17 games. We do not have to overreact. Let's give them time. With that being said, I appreciate you guys watching. Thank you so much, and that's all I got. I'm out of here. Peace.